And one final question, Lester and Willie, is how have you kept up with the times in terms of the socio-economic, political, cultural? How do you keep your material fresh?
You know, what we do is we do what we call generic material. I mean, it's funny, but you can, it's basically, it can be used anytime. So we try not to be, some of the stuff in the act is timely, but some people do topical stuff, and that's their act, topical. Our stuff is like pretty much generic stuff, like, for example, how long can a person live without brains? I don't know. How old are you? That's generic, you know.
Much has been written about Dr. King's work as a civil rights crusader, much said about his extraordinary political and spiritual mission, much recorded about his profound impact on the history and the future of this country. His legacy has affected multitudes, but he's also touched individual lives one by one. I've been asked whether Dr. King influenced me as an artist, especially as an artist who happens to be black. And that question set me to thinking about my career and to re-examining his speeches in his writings. And consequently, I discovered for the first time how much the arts meant to him and how he helped to expand artistic enfranchisement. Am I being heard here so far? Okay. Dr. King wanted to open all doors, including doors to the arts, to all people, not just the elite few. He believed in putting the emphasis on we, the people, in the arts as well as in politics. He came to his work richly equipped with a knowledge of great books, beginning with the Bible. He read poetry, fiction, and philosophy. Books helped to forge his dreams and to empower his vision of what this world should become. There is a reassurance for us, I think, especially in this time of worry about how to ensure the quality of education and how to balance the dynamics of cultural identity, cultural diversity, and cultural harmony.
The basketball court is an even court. All goals 10 feet high, all rims the same circumference. It's an even court. But it's not an even court for access to health care. It's not an even court for access to prescription drugs. It's not an even court for access to affordable housing. It's not an even court when it comes to access to economic development. So to build that America, to build that Illinois, we the people of Lincoln would say must come together. Well, officials, we have more phones than ever before, more pages, more beepers. We're talking more, but not to each other. So we develop Peoria on the brain. And don't quite see Springfield or Champaign-Urbana or East St. Louis or Danville or Waukegan or Rockford or Carbondale or Chicago, but somehow it becomes our mission in the rainbow is to connect the family from Lake Michigan to the Mississippi River and build us a functioning network of relationships, a statewide rainbow push political alliance.
Well, my parents were involved in the union, their union. They were postal employees, and they were involved in the National Alliance of Postal Employees, very much involved in the early 50s in their union. They also were lifelong members of the NAACP. They were active, and my mother was active in her sorority. They were active in community, in their community.
And based upon what would you able to, were there good influences on you as far as what you wanted to do in acting and also as far as giving back to the community?
Well, they were primarily influenced the best influence that they could ever bring me was that they loved me, and they loved all their children. And I just had two of the most extraordinary parents, the sweetest parents imaginable. And of course, when I think about my community involvement or my involvement in various initiatives, certainly my parents come to mind. Yes.
Do you have anything that you think you've not done as an actor?
Well, I don't know if there's always, I don't care if you've done 100 films, 200 films. I don't care if is someone like Gregory Peck, who's done so much work and everything else. The many other actors and actresses who've done a great deal of work. There's always something you want to do or something you feel that you haven't done, So, but you don't think about that. The thing you think about is, what is the next thing I'm going to do? What's the next thing I want to do?
One of the fantastic things that happened in civil rights was getting civil rights and the right to vote. But now, after so much struggle and bloodshed and getting people, African Americans, the right to vote, and now it's 2000, 2004, we have a struggle getting African Americans just even to register and vote.
I know that. It's embarrassing. It's worse than that. If it was embarrassing just, it would mean I am embarrassed. It's worse than that. It's insulting to all those who went before. Some who risked their lives and some who lost their lives. Some blacks and some whites. It is absolutely insulting.
This is Chuck Brock with Rion Entertainment, and today we're here in Dallas in the studio of the hardest working man in radio, the fly jock, Tom Joyner.
This is not Dallas studio. I'm in Peoria like you.
Oh, okay.
Quit lying to the people. I'm in Peoria.
Well, see, he's taking. He is taking advantage of me, but I know where I came from 12 hours ago. Now, if y'all took me around the block for 12 hours.
That's what they did. That's what they told you. This is Dallas. This is the Nerve Center, the mothership of the Tom Joyner Morning Show, and we, from this place, we send the show out to some
115. It was 115 people. Yeah. Last time I interviewed you.
115 cities, not
cities.
People.
Right, I'm sorry.
We got a few more.
And see, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, we don't have but 1 or 2 people.
Right.
And we got 115 cities.
115 cities. Now, last time I interviewed you, you were in 65 markets, and you reached the estimated of 3 million people. Now you in over 120 markets, and you reach the estimated over 8 million. And you definitely the hardest working man in radio. And what do you attribute that to? What do your energy? I mean, is Ms. Richardson making you work out?
No, I've always worked hard because I've always been in debt. And and so this is the only way I can do it. I have to work hard, or they come and get me.
Well, see, I attribute that to you being from Tuskegee, Alabama, and with that being an underlying can-do spirit. And I understand a lot of people there are competitive. I know a lot of great people come out of there, and you just happen to be a product of Tuskegee, Alabama, and at the time, Tuskegee Institute, which is now Tuskegee University. Does that have anything to do with it?
I think it has a lot to do with it, and I have to be honest and tell you that I didn't realize what the impact of growing up in a town like that has been on my life until not that long ago. I stopped one day to smell the roses. Mm-hmm. And it dawned on me that I was raised in an environment of as you put it, an environment of a lot of can-do spirit.
Exactly.
My mother and father came to Tuskegee as a result of the Tuskegee Airmen program.
Okay.
My father was a cadet. My mother was a secretary on the